What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Rick Knows Hoops. I'm your host, Tyreek. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new. This is a channel where we talk about NBA basketball, so if you love hoops, this is the place for you. And man, this morning I'm here to talk about these playing games, man. We've been hearing about the play-in all year, been talking about it, especially for the last month of the season. It's finally set. We know who's going to play who. And it's crazy to say that the NBA season is wrapped up. The final games were played last night. And I mean, season kind of went by fast, but now it's, full speed ahead. We're going into the playoffs. But first, we got to figure out who the 7 and 8 seeds are going to be in each conference. So I'm here to talk about it. And I'm going to speak on the Western Conference first because I think these matchups are a little more compelling. And if y'all have been paying attention, y'all know why. The 7-8 matchup, LeBron James and his Lakers squad against Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors. I believe this would be part 5 of the LeBron-Steph's saga. Even though this isn't going to be a series, it's more of just a one-game situation. But it should be interesting nonetheless. I want to speak on the Golden State Warriors before I get to the Lakers because I've liked what I've seen from this team, especially lately. It was good. It was good for the league that on the final day of the regular season, the Warriors played the Grizzlies, and these two teams, I believe, had identical records heading into this game. So the winner essentially got the 8 seed, and Steph Curry ended up going crazy as he's been doing all season. He dropped 46 points. And they ended up winning this game. He had some big shots down the stretch. I think Memphis actually came back in this game. They were down like 20 points, but they ended up coming back, and then Steph Curry closed them out. So big shout out to Steph Curry. But I like what I've seen, not just from Steph, of course, because he's had a very MVP caliber season. Even though their record isn't good enough for him to probably get the award. If they were a higher seed, I think he would have a lot of people's votes, maybe mine included. But I like what I've seen from some of the guys on the supporting cast, man. I really do. I want to start with Andrew Wiggins. He's been up and down this season, but he's shown, at least on the defensive end, he's been fairly consistent. And offensively speaking, he's shown that he can have those games. And he's been a pretty okay secondary option, considering how crazy Steph's been going this season. He can only do so much, but he's been an okay secondary option. But another guy I really want to talk about is Jordan Poole. And one of my friends, he's a big Michigan Wolverines fan. And we were talking about it. We was like, Jordan Poole did not have game like this in college. He was really more of a spot-up shooter in college, coming off pin downs and stuff. But now he's showing that, he can break people off the dribble, and he can, hit, shots off the dribble too. He's really showing that he's expanded his game, that he's really been in the gym working on his game. And you've seen the progression just from this season alone. He's really progressed as a player so much. And I really like to see it. And I think he's somebody that is going to be relied upon if the Warriors are able to make the postseason officially as one of the 8 teams. And even in this play-in game against the Lakers, he's going to have a really key role. Of course, Draymond and stuff. One thing that might hurt this team is, just depth, really depth on their roster. They don't have a lot of that. I mean, Kelly Oubre, I believe he's still injured, if I'm not mistaken. I have not seen him play, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So Kent Bazemore is going to be relied upon heavily, guys like that. Not having James Wiseman, I don't know how that would affect this team because you're going against Anthony Davis, and I'm interested to see how healthy Anthony Davis and LeBron James really are, because the other night they looked very good against the Pacers, or the other day because that was an afternoon game. But LeBron, I guess he tweaked his ankle in this game. I didn't really see the tweak or anything, but they said it was a mild tweak, so sure he's okay. But they look very good against that Pacers squad, so I'm interested just to see how healthy they are for this one game situation. But I was talking to some people. I was on I went on IG Live with one of my friends from my town, and we were talking about, he was telling me how he was having a conversation with somebody, and they were basically saying that this one game playing could be good for the Lakers, as a little bit of a tune-up for the postseason. And while that is the case, but it is kind of problematic at the same time, because now you got to go against Steph Curry in a one-game situation. Dennis Schroeder, I don't think he will be playing in this, and even if he does, he's been dealing with the health and safety protocol, so who knows how healthy he really is. That really could be a problem. We saw Jason Tatum was playing with an inhaler for months after he had the virus and stuff, so you don't really know how healthy he is, how healthy his body is, because that stuff really does take away from your body, just fatigue wise and stuff like that. So the Lakers have a lot of question marks too. But at the end of the day, you still have LeBron James, you still have Anthony Davis. And I don't think anybody wants to see those two in a, win or keep or, win and you get in a situation is what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't think anybody wants to see those two guys when it's basically just a one game situation. And then, like, if the Lakers do win, like, that's just like, for the Phoenix Suns, that's really like the worst reward possible. Like, you get the second best record in the NBA and you have to play against the defending champs in the first round. That is the epitome of what this NBA season has been. It's just been like chaos, madness. I might do a whole just like recap of the season because it's been a crazy year. But this first playing game on the Western Conference side should be very interesting. But I think the second one can be a little compelling too. I really like what I've seen from the Memphis Grizzlies this season. I've given them a lot of credit this year because you look at this team is not like extremely talented based off of, just what you see on paper. Like, they play a lot of young guys. They play a lot of players. Like, they really go deep into their roster. And they've done a really good job this season. I mean, I think they finished 4 games over 500. And they've definitely been playing great as of late, especially the last like 6 weeks or so of the season. They've been playing really good basketball. We'll see. We'll just have to see like how them against the Spurs really works because you got Pop on the other side. And I think if Pop really wants to throw together like an elite game plan, he can really do it. But Taylor Jenkins is no slouch either, and he's shown that he's a very good young coach in this league too. So I think that game can be interesting too. We'll see how we saw last season in the play-in. Ja Morant had an amazing game. In that game, he was shooting the lights out, which is not really his thing, but he's just a big-time player who plays well in big games. So I think that's the second matchup can be very good too. I think both of the games in the Western Conference can be good. I'm really just intrigued in that Laker, Warrior matchup because I think that's what everybody's waiting for. It's crazy that nobody thought the Lakers would be in that position, but the injury bug has really hit them harder than most teams. It's been a very tough season for them, but from what I've seen from LeBron since he's officially been back, he's looking closer to LeBron than not. So that can be scary, man. A 7-seeded Laker team is still probably one of the favorites in the Western Conference, as crazy as that sounds. Let's move on to the East because there's another team that we did not expect to be in the play-in. There's a couple teams that maybe weren't expected, but really, I think all 4 teams might have like they all might have not been expected to be in the play-in. But let's talk about first game, second game. First game, the Boston Celtics, the 7th seed, will host the Washington Wizards. And these are 2 teams that probably weren't expected to be in this position for different reasons. The Boston Celtics coming off a conference finals appearance last season. Obviously, Gordon Hayward leaves. You don't really do anything to replace him or, replace his, minutes, his production. So most people expected the Celtics to take a little bit of a step back, but you still have talented guys, Kemba Walker, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, bunch of guys on your roster. You add Tristan Thompson, who's expected to be a okay big for your team. The emergence of Robert Williams has been stellar. And then even guys that came in like rookies like Peyton Pritchard have been playing very well. Like, you got guys in your rotation that you trust and are actually pretty decent. But then, Jason Tatum gets the virus, so he misses a couple weeks of basketball. Kemba Walker is in and out of the lineup. Marcus Smart missed, I think, 17 games because of a calf injury. And now Jaylen Brown's out for the season, so it's like the injury bug and the health and safety protocols have really hit the Celtics hard. So now they're in this position to where they're a 500 team, and now they're playing against the Washington Wizards, one of the hottest teams in basketball. Bradley Beal second in the league in scoring. Russell Westbrook breaking the triple-double record. He's been playing amazing the last couple months of the season. And since the Daniel Gafford trade, this team has been one of the best offensive teams and one of the best defensive teams in basketball also. And I've been preaching it for probably about the last month and a half or 2 months. I do not want to see the Washington Wizards in the play-in if I'm a fan of a team. And I'm a fan of the Boston Celtics, and I don't want to see the Washington Wizards in the play-in game. Because when you have a guy like Russell Westbrook, who's really just a dog, and he's going to come at you, all game, every game like it's his last. In a one-game situation, that's kind of scary. And then you have Bradley Beal, who any given night can go off for 40, for 50. Like, he's shown that numerous times. And then the rest of the team has been playing very well. Raul Nato, who didn't even get minutes in Philly, even after Ben Simmons went out with an injury last season in the bubble, has been starting for this team and has been playing pretty good basketball. Like, as crazy as that sounds, Daniel Gafford has been playing great. I mean, obviously Russell Westbrook is going to get you a lot of easy buckets, but he's been playing really good basketball. And, Hachimura has been good. This team has really just hit the switch, and they've been playing great basketball the last couple months of the season. And when you look at how they were like the first month and a half, maybe, you're like, bro, there's no way that this team even sniffs to play in. But they're the AC now. And I don't want to like go out on a limb, but I would probably favor them against the Celtics. Like, I really would, because the Celtics are dealing with injuries and just they've been so inconsistent all year, and they haven't been playing their best basketball lately. I think in one game situations that really matters. It's kind of like, the NFL playoffs in a sense. Like, some teams come into the playoffs hot and then they continue that hot streak, or they hit that one game, in the wild card, they win that, and then they just push all the way to the Super Bowl. Like, that stuff happens a lot in football. Happens in March Madness, or like, that stuff happens a lot. Teams can go on runs. We see that all the time. I think the Washington Wizards can be one of those teams, and they might have a very good shot at beating the Boston Celtics in this first playing game between the 7 and 8 seeds, and those go to the 9-10 seeds. For maybe different reasons, these teams might have not been expected to be here, honestly. Let's start with the Indiana Pacers first, because they are the 9th seed, and the team that started off the season very well. They were looking like maybe getting rid of Nate McMillan and bringing in, I believe it's Nate Yorkin is the name of their head coach. That was looking like maybe that was a good move. Maybe that was the change of culture that this team needed. And then it just kind of, TJ Warren went down. And I know, there's memes and stuff about bubble TJ Warren being like Michael Jordan or something like that, because he was hooping in the bubble. But that really did start to affect his team in a way. Like, they were really just starting to struggle. And then, it just seems like maybe Miles Turner and Sabonis can't really coexist together on the court. Maybe that. They've also dealt with injuries too. Malcolm Brogdon's missed time. Karis LeVert, who they traded for, had a mass on his kidney, which is, very life threatening. So it's great to see that he's okay playing basketball, but he missed a lot of time too. I've even seen like Sabonis has missed some games here and there. Like, teams dealt with a fair share of injuries, and it's really just been an up and down season. The biggest blow to them really might have been Miles Turner being out, because when he's on the court defensively, they're a very good team, but when he's off the court, they're just terrible. Because you got Sabonis playing the 5. And, as good as a player Sabonis is offensively, he doesn't really bring it on the defensive side as much as Miles Turner, at least. So it's been a very just up and down, roller coaster season for the Pacers too. And if you would have told me that they would be in the play-in after the way that they looked early on and the way they really started, and just a team that's been very consistent, the last 7-8 years of just being a very good team in the Eastern Conference, and it's just like it just hasn't happened this season. So them going against a team like the Charlotte Hornets at the 10 seed, who I keep saying like they just play like they have nothing to lose. They just play free basketball, like free flowing, everybody eats type stuff, and they just got guys that I just think like they're just gonna go out swinging. Terry Rozier's had an amazing season, all-star caliber season, especially the second half of the season. He's been amazing. I mentioned that before. Of course, we know LaMelo, probably rookie of the year still. He's really helped change just like the flair of this team. Like, he's just brought a different flair to this team, a different level of excitement. Even though this was already an exciting team last year, but they were a bad team. Now they're a competent team. Miles Bridges is one of the most improved players in the league that his numbers don't show how improved he is as a basketball player. He's been amazing this season, shooting the 3-ball well, just doing all the little things, rebounding. He's been playing great basketball. They run the big man rotation of Biyombo and Cody Zeller, and it works. I don't know how, because those two are not very good NBA players these days, but it works. And even like I mentioned, Devontae Graham hasn't been as good as he was last year, but he still provided a spark for this team as well. Like, the Charlotte Hornets, that's the other team I would not want to see in the play-in, because nobody really expected them to be here, especially, in the offseason when they added Gordon Hayward, who also has had a very good season, even though he's out with injury right now. I was saying, like, they could be a team that could fight for the AC. And they were pretty much in that realm. Like, they could fight for the AC, but I think maybe after LaMelo went down, I think everybody expected them to fall off, but they pretty much stayed afloat, even when LaMelo was out. So, hey, man, this game's going to be very interesting, too. I think all the games should be competitive, but I just know that Western Conference side is going to get most of the storylines because we do have LeBron James against Steph Curry and the defending champs being the 7th seed. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun ride, man. May 18th on ESPN. This is not a promo, but make sure y'all tune in because we definitely gonna talk about it. And once everything gets set, I'm gonna do a playoff preview video. Probably just talking about like the first round series, what I like what I'm looking for and stuff like that. And I might also do like I mentioned like the season recap. I might do that. I don't know yet. But I do want to do like a little award thing, like just my NBA awards if I were to have a vote. I think I'll do that too. So stay tuned, man. We're gonna have a lot to talk about for sure. So yeah, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new, share the video. Help us, reach more and more people. Trying to hit 200 subscribers, man. I appreciate y'all. I'm out.